Sunday Soul Sante, for which if you don't know, is a flea market that I conduct practically once a month during my season, which is October to May every year. The connotation of a flea market in the old days was a place where you bought and sold second-hand things. It's changed over the years. It's not like that anymore. Today, a flea market is a place where you can pick up creative, unusual, one-of-a-kind, limited edition things. It is a very special place indeed. People have asked me, why have you chosen this name, Sunday Soul Sante? And I'll tell you why. Because I do think that Sunday is a family day. And I wanted very much for this to be a family day. I wanted everyone from the family there. I was fed up of Bangalore cliques. Movers and shakers all went one way. Culture vultures went another way. And I said, no, why can't we have something where everybody's there together and enjoy themselves? Mothers, fathers, babies, grandparents, pets, everybody. And I got this idea. So a lot of soul went into this, a lot of thought, a lot of passion. So Sunday Soul, and Sunday Soul. I said, shall I make it bazaar? Shall I make it this, that, the other? I couldn't find the right word. One day, in the office, I asked the office boy, I said, hey, Gopi, what do you say for bazaar in Kannada? And he said, Sante ma. I said, wow, that's it, Sunday Soul Sante. That's what, it certainly rolls well off the tongue. And I'm very proud to say that from Kashmir to Kanyakumari now, everybody knows that Sante means literally a bazaar. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey. I grew up in Kolkata, from where I hail. My everyday life was filled with aesthetics, art, dance, music, from your daily preparation of food to sweets to your orpana on the floor, so many things. You were just surrounded by it all the time. And then there was the beautiful Durga Puja, such mature representations of art and design. For a young girl who was fascinated by these things, it was so intoxicating. But anyway, my life took such a shift. And I landed up from Kolkata in Chennai, where I did my high school and my college. Shortly after, I graduated, and then I got married, and I moved to Bangalore. It was in Bangalore that I had to put my passion on hold. Because being a mother and a homemaker took center stage. By the time I was hardly 30 years old, I had 3 sons. And you can just imagine what a handful that was. Really, time management became the most essential thing. And I realized at that very young age that you could do anything if you could time manage. So you time managed a job, you time managed cooking in the kitchen, you time managed PTA meetings, you time managed parties and a social life, you did various things. And you learned to do it pretty expertly, but all the time, let me tell you, art and craft was a very dear thing to me. I never let it die down. I always kept that passion, that appreciation. My children were small. The moment I found that they were a little independent, I started to work in the garment industry. I was the sole representative for a Dutch buying house. Let me tell you, it was such a high-pressured job. And at that time, in the 80s, let me tell you, it was a liars. People were constantly lying. Your button man he was lying to you. Your buttons haven't reached on time. Sorry, something happened. And now what are you going to tell your buyer? a day will come when you can't take this pressure anymore. And then I hands one day, and I said, let me move to something closer to my heart. And so I funded the Arts and Crafts Trust, which supported visual and performing art. It was the first of its kind in Bangalore because I set up the first flea market in 1997. At a time when flea markets were unheard of. You only heard of a flea market in Goa, and you really didn't know what that was. But I said, no, we're going to do it. People questioned. I faced a lot of flack, and people said, who is she? Who does she think she is? This is not Goa. It will not work here. But I thought differently, and I thought, oh my God, I believe that it will work, and I think that's enough. Who doesn't love beautiful things, nice handcrafted things? I'm not the only one. There will be an audience. And so I spurred ahead. But there was a slight problem. I couldn't sustain. Without proper sponsorship, because I wanted to give everybody a free stall. And I still want to give everybody a free stall. And believe me, God willing, one day I will. I will give everybody a free stall. I pray for it every single day, and I know one day it will happen. So, Arts and Crafts Trust took a back seat, and then a friend approached me and said, Asha, why don't you join with me, partner with me? We'll set up a permanent space where creative people can come and interact. And so, Ahava, Gallery for Design, took shape. That again was the first of its kind in this city because nobody cared for young designers and artists. Everyone had to be arrived before they were helped. And I felt that is very unfair. Not everyone's born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Talent doesn't need that. So we were willing to take a chance on these new breed of creative people. So many design schools churning out all these creative, talented people all the time. And nobody wanted to give them the light of day. And that's what we did. We made a spot where you could interact, where you could talk design, live design, breathe design, get inspired. And naturally, with all these beautiful things in front of us all the time, we became retailers. Retailing was not really my forte. And I moved, after many years, to Whitefield, where applied art and art schools and teaching art to people became very important. Here again, I had a problem. Everybody asked me, are you an artist? Are you a designer? Are you a dancer? Are you a musician? I said, oh God, no, I'm not. I'm not any of these things. I can't even draw a straight line. But I'll tell you something. I can see a straight line and recognize it. I know a straight line. And I think that is very important. Appreciation is the balance that you need for these people who create beautiful things. Appreciation is the word of the day, and I call it the wow factor. Wow factor because when I see something, or whenever you see anything and you say, wow, it's beautiful, you cannot imagine the positivity that you exude. That positivity itself will spur that young person on to do amazing things. And that's important, that wow factor. I have a lovely story that supports this, you know. A lady approached me once and said, you know, I have a niece who's a designer, you know, she's a footwear designer. Please, can she come and meet you, blah, blah, blah. One day, I gave her an appointment. One day, I saw at the door a young girl peeping and hesitating to enter. So I didn't know who she was. I walked up and said, hi, I'm Asha. Can I help you? And she said, I'm so-and-so, and I took her in, and she was the girl who had come to meet me. She was so shy. Her voice was so feeble, so scared. She looked like she wanted to crawl under the table. And she opened her bag and she brought out this exquisite footwear, embroidered, sequined, beautifully color coordinated. Naturally, we gave her a stall. After 4 or 5 markets, I mean, that soon, one day I saw her walking up to me. She came up to me. She gave me a high five and hugged me and said, "Hi, Asha, how's it going?" With such an unfaltering, unwavering voice. And I said, wow, I cannot tell you guys what a powerful moment that was for me. I felt so happy. I said, somewhere I did the right thing. And this is only one person. I've got to do it for more and more. Anyone who approaches me, I have a place for. Anyway, Sunday Soul Sante finally emerged because I could not retail. I was doing in Whitefield, so far away from the city, and people were trudging and complaining that it was so far. You know how Bangalore traffic was. It became worse and worse every year. One day I noticed that there was not many Whitefielders in my market. A lot of them were people trudging from town, the majority. And I got this idea. Why don't I move my market to the heart of town? I mean, what an impact that would have. Not just for bringing in a big crowd, but for bringing in a crowd that would appreciate. In thousands of people, there will be a couple of thousands that will make it so worthy. So worthy. And so I started Sunday Soul Sante, finding idyllic spots in the city, because I do believe when you are showcasing anything beautiful, the environment must be conducive. You know, I mean, for me, aesthetically that matched. We couldn't find all these beautiful places so often, sometimes by our own choice and sometimes by things beyond our control. However, we still manage from the days where I started with, my first market had 27 stalls. Today we do about 300 stalls. And we grew very slowly because I do think that you should learn how to walk before you run. So slow and sure was the way. And being true to yourself all the time. That was another thing. Persistence, perseverance, believing that no, I will not. I pick up the threads, let it go, pick it up again. One day, I realized that this Sante is growing in leaps and bounds. It was becoming very difficult for me and my small team, which actually was only 2 other people, to try and make it work. And I realized I can't let all these people down. They had now become like family. And what am I going to do? I think I have to go into the market and get some professional help. You know, I say professional like I knew it all. I didn't. I was being taught by other people. This is what you do, that is. But I knew the need was something. I knew that I had to get stronger. I'm not e-savvy at all, so it was a big zero for me then. Decided to look within my home for help, and that's what I did. I called my sons, and I told them, I said, this is what I'm going to do, and do you think that you can come on board and help me? And, you know, they're very sweet. They've been around me and, you know, shared my passion for years. So naturally they said, yeah, okay, but you know, we can only do it part-time because they all do other things of their own. I was willing to take that chance from nothing, at least part-time, let them help me, you know. And that's how they started. And I must say that my 3 sons are the ones who are really responsible for taking this market to another level. They have given it a completely new dimension. And so we are being invited to other cities, small towns. Everybody wants to hold a Sunday Soul Sante. And that makes me extremely happy and ready to fly. Believe me, I am very content with the familiarity of Bangalore. I love Bangalore. But I do realize for my family of vendors that they have to spread their wings. They have to move to other shores. They have to be given a broader platform. So it's not all about setting up a fantastic platform for artists and designers. The most important thing is getting people to contribute to that wow factor and bringing in the audience. My team and I work very hard at networking so that we bring in that right kind of audience. And I hope if some of you have not visited Sunday Soul Sante, you will make it a point in future to do so and see what I mean by that. You know, it's a very happy place to be. We invite people to come and spend the day with us. So I can't just make it only shopping. We have yummy food, we have wholesome entertainment, and you put it all together and you have a lovely day out in the open in this lovely weather that Bangalore gives us. So my journey went on, and I became stronger and stronger. My vendors became happier because suddenly these flea markets were mushrooming all over the city. There was a Halli Sante, a green Sante, a kiddie Sante, you just name it. And I laughed, but my vendors had a big smile because they could produce more. There were more people. I don't care who sets up the platform. The fact is, we need more platforms. We need more platforms so that Indian art, craft, and design can grow. Because I feel we are on par with anyone else in the world. And the actual reason that spurred me on was, one day, I walked into a gift shop to buy a gift for a friend and got sidetracked because I saw little Ganeshas on the shelf. And I collect tiny Ganeshas, so the attraction was instant. And I picked it up and said, wow. And I looked at it, and it said 45 rupees. And my craft antenna went up, and I said, oh my God, I broke it into segments of wholesalers and agents and all kinds of things. And I thought, what did the person who made this actually get? Maybe just a few rupees. It really shocked me. I pick it up, I get a reality check, and I see made in China. And I said, oh my gosh, the Chinese are making our gods now. I have to do something about this. I have got to show people, I've got to show them that, our Indian craft is the best. Our design, our artists, and that's what I mean to do. So friends, I want to tell you two very important things. You can actually do anything. You have to persist, and you have to make a balance. And balance, equilibrium, does not necessarily mean status quo. Not at all. Sometimes you may fall, you may stumble, you may trip, but believe me, you will pick yourself up again. And in that, you will regain your balance. You will learn your mistake. You will take care. There's no stopping you. And I do feel that the more and more people who think out of the box and follow their dreams, follow the passion that is in your heart, you will always succeed. And now, before I leave you, I want to thank all of you. I am so happy that there was somebody who found me worthy to share my story with them. Thank you so much. And I hope that I will see a lot of the faces. And I hope that I will see you one day in a Sunday Soul Sante. Thank you.